All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Passion Project Management. I'm Joseph Fond. It's been a couple weeks, but we're back, and as promised, I do have a guest. My good friend Ferris and I have been working really hard on his upcoming EP, which we're heading down to LA next month to record. And so tonight, I thought what we'd just do is get practical with it and spend a little time building out the pre production file. So, a pre production file basically has an overview, um, followed by a schedule, a gear list, and then a budget. Right? It's important to track, what time are things happening, with what gear, and did we rent it? Did we buy it? What's in the budget, so that as we move forward in time, we can look back and reconcile all those expenses. Right? So, without further ado, we're gonna pull Ferris in, and we're just gonna try to work on this Google Doc. And it is a template that I can share with you if anyone's interested. All right, so here we jumping on in. All right, Ferris, how you doing, man?
Good.
Cool, man.
Can you hear
Well,
me right now? Can you hear my voice coming in clearly?
I can hear you good, and I think the test that we did earlier should be fine. If
Excellent.
not,
I should have said well. That's just not good grammar to say I'm doing good. It's
well,
awful.
I wouldn't
I'm
sweat it.
sorry. I
Um,
apologize.
you're all set. So we've been working for months to get everything ready, and we're actually at the point where we're driving down and we are flying a buddy out. So now that that is actually happening, we can move on to the phase of actually like getting our heads wrapped around schedules and things like that. So um, first, can you can't actually see the document, can you?
Not yet, because if you share your screen, I can see it, or you can email it to me, and I can just open it up on
Actually,
my
yeah.
end. That's easy.
Let me just share it with you.
Yeah.
The way that the everything's configured right now, I'd rather not share the screen so that it doesn't screw up what everyone's seeing on YouTube. But here, I just shared that with you, and so I can like basically we can just talk about it, ask some questions, and I'll fill in the info. You can definitely follow on where you're at. So, project name, you know, I've just been calling it Ferris Martinez EP. Is there anything else that you'd rather call it?
Yeah, I think I've been thinking about like names for it. I don't have something right now. I think I would like to name it something, but for now, I think as a working title, Ferris Martinez EP is fine.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. What would you say like the overview of this project is? And I don't mean everything that we've done, but this production session. So in LA, what are we doing?
Well, it's kind of the culmination of everything we've been working on, really. It's what it is. It's the actual moment where we take these, like, my kind of like folky, like self-therapy songs that I've been working on for years, and actually making it something tangible. Actually making it. It's kind of the part where like the actual like risk comes into play. It's like the actual fun challenge of being like, okay, this stepping out of like a safe zone and being like, right, this is the point where it becomes a real thing. So that's how I've been thinking about it.
Cool. Totally. So the end goal is to have a complete EP that you can put up on streaming services and offer for sale, or
Streaming service offers for yeah, definitely all streaming services. I'm harboring like I've been reading about like other artists that got started. Like a lot of what they did was yes, they put it up for sale, but it was the word of mouth and people sharing it. That's how it got around. So of course it'll be available for sale, maybe like as a have some kind of upsell type thing that goes along with it if you purchase it. But this is something I want people to hear this music and I see what they think about it. And I think play some live shows and generally people my hope is that people will listen to it and enjoy it and it will make them feel good.
cool. I'm gonna write use it to secure live shows in the future. Because that's huge
Yeah.
when you either if you're working with an agent or you're just calling venues, um, to have something that you can show them, hey, this is what it could sound like, right? Like especially part of the style that we're going for is a very live shoot, so there's going to be a lot of bleed. It's a band, right? It's
Yeah.
yeah, so that's going to be an even truer representation to the people that listen to it what it would be live.
Yeah.
So you just brought up something that like this is like a bit of a risk. So one of the I just like in my overview document I like to put challenges and opportunities, right? So like, what do you think the biggest challenge could be? And I've got some ideas too, but in this, we're driving, we're flying, we have a studio spot. Like, what are the largest roadblocks that we should be thinking about so that we make sure we have a successful
I think for I think working with you actually has done a lot in terms of minimizing or outright doing away with things that earlier I would have called risks. I mean, you know me, the way that I function is it's organized in a way that only I understand. uh, um, so that's kind of why I like working with you on things like this, because like you fill in the holes that I don't even know are there, you know? So in terms of what I would have said beforehand, I would have said like, well, obviously the organizational structure is the biggest risk for me. But now it's kind of a more comfortable risk where it's like the biggest risk is like, the people we're going to be playing with, they're you included, and the other two guys, they're all like seasoned, talented musicians, and they're like I would say they're professional for sure. So for me, the risk is it's a comfortable risk where it's like, okay, I got to make sure that I know these songs so well that that it stands up against playing with people who, musically speaking, are far more versatile and experienced than I am.
Cool. Yeah, one of the challenges that I think is like in terms of timing, like we're flying someone across the country and we're driving, a 6-hour drive down to Los Angeles. So it's literally things like that. So like travel issues.
The thing about that is that I've done that drive so many times. So like, I was actually thinking about this yesterday. What if the car breaks down? I was like, well, we'll rent one. I don't care. We'll figure it out. Like that to me, honestly, doesn't seem. I have broken down out there before. Like that doesn't seem like as much of a type risk to me than the other things do.
It's interesting, right? Yeah, it's like, first of all, like we're in California, so everything will be fine, right? But part of what we do at Stern Grove is identify the things that we even, at least speak of them out loud, the things that could go wrong, and even if we have an answer, like it's actually, so what
car breaking down, plane being late, recording
and
studio space,
the fact that
suddenly not being available.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Like those are real things for sure.
Space.
But I guess what I was saying is like the planning that I say we, but really it's you.
Well,
dragging me along.
We're co-producing
very, very willingly too. I love it. Has made those things that would previously feel sort of nebulous and unknown, very known and not nebulous, and therefore they don't seem as scary.
Yeah. Cool. So, what are some of these opportunities that are, that we're able to get into, right? Like,
what do you mean?
Well, so like we have some challenges, but there are just some amazing things. Like I'm looking at this as like another excuse for us to get together and play music, right? Like and do it at this level. That is huge for me. Like this will be the first full recording session that I do on the mobile rig that I've built out. So I've bought a multi-tracking mixer and I've got hard cases and microphones and cables. And so basically we're just going to descend on our buddy's practice space and install a studio inside it. Just for 3 or 4 days. So like just getting together,
playing music, testing out this new equipment, playing these songs together. Those are all great opportunities. And also just like the sense of like actually leaving the place with like a thing that we've made. Every time that I've completed a painting, it's like, oh wow, like that's a thing that I made. Like the enjoyment is in the act of making it, and then it's also in the act of looking at the thing that you've created. It's an incredible feeling of fulfillment, whether or not that's almost independent of whether or not anyone likes it, although I do certainly hope they do. And the couple of people who have shown the demos, you're like, wow, I can't believe you actually wrote this. That's you. like great. So no, it's all of those things, and it's also a chance to I know this is a corny line, but it's just like get closer to becoming yourself. The 100%. Things that we want to do, they only happen if we decide to make them happen, which is both constantly infuriating and also wonderful.
Yeah. So what I'm doing now is I'm filling out the personnel thing. We won't put any
names
info
or addresses.
no, we'll put names. But this is a critical space because you share this with everyone that's involved in the production, and so if anyone needs a phone number, if anyone needs to know some of this information, that.
Well, I gotta say, I do like, again, like one of the things I like about working with you is that you do things like this, which I would never consider to be, I would never even consider. And what's funny is that I should, because when I used to play music with my brother, I think part of the reason why it didn't work out was because we didn't plan things out. It was too much of us just being like, both he and I operate as similar when it comes to creative things. Just like we just feel it, so we just got to do it,
Yeah.
And then the other stuff, it's like, I don't want to do that. It's kind of like you have to do these things, which actually are fun, and then they end up supporting the creative, more straightforward creative process later.
Totally. So now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of like, it's a pretty simple, pretty live shoot. So I'm just writing a quick equipment overview with the input list. I think we're probably going to do either 5 or 6 drum mics. We'll do a bass DI and a bass microphone. Then you're going to have an acoustic guitar. And
Might end up using the acoustic from the person's space we're practicing in, and we'll probably bring the 12-string guitar as well.
Totally.
Might as well.
Guitar 2. And the guitar 2 is going to be Dan and that'll be mic'd up, so that'll be cool. So yeah, we're only. Oh, and then actually no, we need to have your vocal mic. Actually, yeah, we'll just sit. What's cool is you're the only one who's singing, but we can.
Well, that's
everyone can have a mic.
Play around.
So
I mean, I'm willing to like.
We'll
see.
So. I don't think so, man. Like,
no,
no, because like the way that we've developed our rehearsal schedule, we haven't included any time for actually group harmonies or anything like that.
No, that's true. That's totally true.
So I think that might be over the scope of this, right?
Yeah, but next time maybe something like that.
Totally.
Because there's definitely we keep saying this every time I play. Just you and I even, like, there's parts that it's like, wow, that would be like, you can hear something that's clearly not being played, but in your head you can hear something like, oh man, that would be a great harmony to have like over this. But yeah, that's also something that it'd be hard to get everyone on the same page, if we're meeting in LA for the first time to play in person.
Yeah. So, cool. So now the meat and potatoes of what I wanted to do today was like the schedule, because that is something, and we don't have to apply days to it, like the actual dates, but I wanted to figure out what you're the center of this project, right? These are your songs.
Yeah.
So we want to take into account your day-to-day schedule, like sleep schedule, eating, everything like that. I think that I'm the outlier. You, Josh, and Dan are all up a little bit later, sleep a little bit later. So
yeah,
we should cater to that. So day 1, we know day 1 p.m. is travel, or a.m. Sorry, day 1 a.m. is travel.
What time do you want to leave then?
Well, so I think Dan comes in around noon, 11 or noon. So
Okay.
we should. I mean, like.
We gotta be out at like 4 in the morning, probably.
Well, I mean, if we're going into the San Fernando Valley, so we don't have to go all the way. We shouldn't go get him from the airport. He should either grab a lift, or someone else should.
Perfect.
Yeah, because why add an hour and a half on to a 6-hour drive for us? We'll make schwa, or he'll grab a lift, right? It's like a $20 thing.
I mean, I'd rather almost like pay for his lift ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome.
So, but yeah, I like 5 in the morning maybe.
Yeah.
And then so PM, and we can expand on this later, but the PM is basically set up the gear, and then we definitely want to account for a nice big old meal, right?
Yeah. Maybe jam a little bit.
I would think, yeah. So like I also think that we should food shopping. We should food shop. Maybe it's like I don't know if we food shop first or we set up the gear, but like it'd be great to be able to get nice healthy food for all the way through, right? Stock up the fridges so that we don't ever have to really leave
Yeah.
unless we want to, right?
Well, there's a lot of good Mexican food right around that area. May want to take advantage of that, but no, I feel you for sure.
And then definitely jam and just like start testing the system, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so day 2, what time do you think like I'm fine cuz I'll be up. I'm fine cooking everyone breakfast and then you know,
I'll
we
probably get up at like
stretch out.
9, 10. Gonna go for a run. Get some coffee.
Do you eat
I,
breakfast?
I gotta say, I don't typically eat breakfast or lunch. uh, so I may just be drinking coffee the whole time.
Nice, dude. I can feel the ulcer.
Yeah, good, sweet.
All right. Well, for us normal people,
But like like pray,
so
maybe
like
like getting it in the studio, starting to play by noon.
yeah. So 10 is like breakfast and chill from 10 to 12,
Yeah,
and then we try to start rehearsing.
yeah, and that also means like 12 noon doesn't mean like okay, everyone plugged in, we start playing. It's like get in the studio by noon,
Yeah.
make sure everyone's equipment is on. Let's start feeling this out. Let's start putting the sound together.
Yeah. I don't know how to spell rehearsal.
R-E. Oh my God, I don't either.
All right.
R-E-H-E-R-S-A-L. I don't
And
know if that was
then
right.
when do you think we should definitely break for like a dinner situation?
I mean,
6 or 8
if
o'clock?
we start playing at 12,
Are we
by
doing
6,
lunch?
that's a lot. That's 6 hours right
So
there
are we
already.
doing like a lunch?
So maybe like a break, around like 3 or 4,
Yeah.
and then start playing again. If we break at 3, start playing again at 4. If we break
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
4, start playing again at 5, and then maybe play 2 more hours depending on how people are feeling. So dinner,
We
maybe
might
it's
have
flexible. It's like a 6:30 to 7:30 dinner, maybe something like that.
yeah.
Or maybe even 8 if you want to give people time to freshen up, take a shower, something like that.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. Like we probably actually will do 3 sessions per day. Like right the first one, and then
Yeah.
we take a nice break, eat some food, do another one, then eat dinner, and then probably we'll be back in, from like the 9 to midnight.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting thing. Like, it's hard for me to sing clearly right after I eat. Like, I gotta digest
Okay.
the food and
That's important.
like clear my throat out. Everything just sounds kind of gummy.
No, well that's huge. Like that's another aspect of this process that we want to manage, right? Because
Yeah.
especially when it comes down to the actual days of recording.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's a good point.
I would say that's a decent schedule. And I think this is how the rest of the day should go. And of course, it's like it adds in a little bit of flexibility as well. Like, these are all kind of, these are good. These are good milestones.
Cool. And so also on day 3, our videographer is going to show up.
Is he actually coming?
I'm going to try to convince him too. So I
Cool.
think it's like an 8 a.m.-ish arrival.
Yeah. Go pick him up.
So I'll just be up and I'll go grab him.
Perfect.
And I'll just like, get him in the headspace. And basically then we'll, pick him up at the airport, show up. And the reason he's coming on day 3 is that if we're just smashing it and we're like, we should not waste any more time not recording, he'd be there. And then we can shift from, what would have been a second day of rehearsal to just recording, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But if not, what we will do is on the fourth day.
I was playing together. That's gonna be.
It's gonna be so cool.
Yeah.
All right. So my idea for like the actual recording sessions is 4 sets of 4 songs each. And I made a determination why I don't want to do one song 4 times in a row, because of that weird vibey thing sometimes where if someone gets stuck and then they just like dig themselves into a hole by running a set, like you could mess up on the second song, but then the third song is different, and so like whatever. And then what we do is we have four takes, and we listen to all of them, and we choose the best one, and we can mix and match, right, for the what ends up.
Oh, completely. I love that.
So
Yeah, you're still doing almost just as many takes. It's just organized in a way that gets you out of your head a little bit more.
totally, it like
Completely.
it
Oh,
would
that's such a
just
bad
it's
feeling
not
too. You're like, oh, I
it's yeah
fucked that up, and then you're
like
like,
or you're just like let me
messing it up.
one more take, and it's like
Yeah.
no, like so for that recording session, we'll do breakfast, and then we'll basically I think we should maybe break it up into 2 sections. So like 2 sets, record 2 sets,
Sure.
and then we'll do a break, and then we record another 2 sets.
Yeah, I think also part of it too is like it could, like you said, just start sounding like if we're ready to record, earlier than we think we are, like then we'll just be recording anyway. So
Yeah,
we may end up like, yeah,
we're gonna be running tape the entire time, and even if say no, the videographer will be there, but I'm still gonna have cameras where if we're like this is just gold. I mean, we can even just run camera. We can just have a GoPro
totally
on right for B-roll or whatever.
Yeah, completely.
And then so definitely day 4 I think we've set it up so that's a Saturday, so it's like, dude, listen and grill and party.
Yeah.
And hopefully we just we were actually thinking of like, yeah, maybe we'll shoot over to our other buddy's house and see if we can use his studio for just mixing, like change of atmosphere, whatever. It'd just be cool to
break it up a little bit for sure.
It, right?
I get it.
All right, so the last thing is the budget.
Day 5. Did you already? That's pretty obvious. Day 5.
Actually, no,
take everything down.
It's breakdown. Yeah.
Bounce by. So it's like a 6-7 hour drive back up.
Yes. So I think we should probably try to leave by noon.
One at the latest. But this is the other thing too. There's just that's not a holiday or anything like that. Like, if anything, people are gonna be coming into LA at this point, because Thanksgiving is technically next week.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, noon or 1 at the latest.
All right.
But
that might
again,
be like...
it's not a holiday, so it's not the like death march that you get normally when you're leaving or coming into LA around those times.
Cool. No later than 2. Sick. This is yeah, like even just the first day, like it's just we won't put times on it. It's in order, right? We just do the things as we go.
Yeah.
All right, budget, it's pretty chill. All we had to pay for was a flight, right?
Flight, that's it. Food. Would that be in production, or is that kind of something that you'd add in afterwards?
No, that I mean, I'd say that's production. So probably like $300, $400 for food
altogether?
Food
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of food. Yeah.
Like liquor and alcohol, like booze and liqueur and like.
I mean, I would say as much as $500, maybe. I mean,
it doesn't matter. We'll just track it.
400 to 6.
And then I don't think post is, unless we want to get it mastered by an engineer, which is up to you. Oh, and then we'll actually post, putting it up onto the streaming services. There is a cost associated with that. Here, I'll just write it down. Upload to streaming. So but I actually don't even want to think that far ahead.
Yeah, and those costs I would be paying for anyway.
Cool, man. So
cool. That's really cool.
It's all, yeah, it's kind of all it takes. Sick. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this worked. This is what I think I'm going to be getting more into. Instead of just talking, we're going to work, right? Like this is my passion, and this is how I manage it. So hopefully you found some tips inside here that you can use for your own situation. And again, these first few episodes are just a test for me to figure out how I can share what I'm working on. So Ferris, thank you so much for being here.
Of course, this is really cool. I really appreciate you doing this.
I can't wait to check it out.
I'm so bad at this stuff.
All right, cool, man.
I know how to do it for my work. I just don't for myself. I'm like,
Well, there's plenty of things that can be organized in the future. So
definitely,
I'm super stoked to get on this project. And thanks for hanging out tonight. And I'll talk to you soon. Yeah.
All right, brother, for sure.
All right. Catch y'all later. We'll see you later.